I understand there are many digital audio workstations out there. I know there are free ones. I know they can do the same thing. Majority of them can do the same thing, but these are my top 5 and my preference, and give you guys some insight. And hopefully you guys can feel my passion and sincerity about the DAWs, the digital audio workstation, through the camera here. Let's talk about it. What's up? Archie Beats here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my home studio. Today we're discussing my top 5 DAW digital audio workstations, and I use 2 of them every single day. One's for my music production and one for my mixing, recording, mastering, playing instruments. I play my instruments into this DAW. And if you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss another video. Number 1 is definitely one of my most used DAW, and that is Avid Pro Tools. Now, the reason why Avid Pro Tools play well with hardware, it plays well with other studios. It is the industry standard because it is industry compatible. It's not industry standard because it's better than everything else out there, because in the market of recording and mixing music, there's a protocol where people interlock and have easy communication systems. And in our cases, it's a digital audio workstation, and that is Avid Pro Tools. I don't have to worry about my track layout. I understand it. I got my certification in Pro Tools very early on because I saw that, hey, I passed my proficiency with the SSL 4000G and also the Neve VR, the flying fader. I love that console. If I could find one, I would put one in my studio in my house if I had the space for it as well. But while you're recording on the console, I noticed that everybody was recording into a 192. It was going into Pro Tools HD on the other end, and sometimes it go off to a Studer 800A tape machine. So I knew I had to get my certification in that and Logic Pro. So I did that very early on, and Pro Tools has been very helpful. It works seamlessly with any other audio interface and hardware. I love it, and that's why I use it. And today's video is sponsored by DistroKid. To be honest, me being a self-sufficient artist, as you guys can see, I built my studio and I create everything in here, from my songs to film composing to re-record mixing film and TV and commercials. I release all of my music through DistroKid. DistroKid has so many resources, such as uploading your music and releasing it at a speedy rate. DistroKid is a resource. You can release music videos. They also have a mastering service called Mixia, and they have an iOS app. And with that new app, you can upload your music from your phone. And right now it's available on iOS, but they're working on an Android version right now. You can upload music from there, like I mentioned. You can also check your stats, you can check your royalties, and then you can turn on some push notifications so you can see the activity of your music moving from this app, whether you're getting royalties or whether some stats are coming in. You get those notifications. So be sure to check out DistroKid in the description below and use my link. Thank you. Next up is Logic Pro. Logic Pro is my film score, my music production. I do all my music production, basically the foundation. My VSTs work well with it. It's a beautiful layout. I love the way it works. It's not the best music production software out there, hey, but it is a great one. My instruments work well in it. I understand my way around it. It looks cool. I can change up my icons on, like if I use an MPC or if I use a violin, I have recorded violin. And I like the fact that I can customize my toolbar and just work with everything and go from there. It's really easy to use and change my tempo seamlessly when I'm changing an emotion in the film score or music production if an artist prefer it. Next is Studio One. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I go in the studio, it's either gonna be 3: Pro Tools, Logic Pro, or Studio One. Pre-Sony Studio One just bust in the industry and just started taking over studios. And I mean, like, people would literally argue to the end of the world that Studio One is the best software out there. And I understand why. It has very fast editing capability. I'm not kidding. I dived into Studio One last year. I did a video on Studio One about a year and a half, a year ago. And that video was right here. The crazy thing about it is the easy to use recording workflow. It's the same as Pro Tools. I think Pro Tools as well has an easy dive into recording kind of thing about it. You don't have to do too much. You arm your tracks, you make sure you got your inputs lined up, and you just get to work from there. And it's easy to see the way it's organized. Like I really enjoy Studio One. And it has a really cool pattern-based composition tool, which is awesome. Next up is, people are going to get upset with this. It's FL Studio. I know. A lot of people give FL Studio crap, but FL Studio is on a lot of music. FL Studio has many Grammys, just as Pro Tools and Logic and Studio One. FL Studio is used by some of the top hip hop producers on the planet. When I tell you, when I was touring with Jibs and I was working with the track stars, the multi-platinum Grammy award winning producers, a lot of the producers that we would collaborate with, because I was the in-house engineer, a lot of producers that we collaborated with that were getting big records with Yay, and it was crazy. They were using FL Studio. This was over 10 years ago, and since then it's been evolving and more things have been being added to FL Studio. It has a brilliant loop system and pattern system and step recorder that some people think it's mechanical. We have moved in a digital sounding direction, especially with trap music, hip hop and EDM and pop music. So FL Studio jumped right in there and fit right in with the industry, and that's why it's award winning. The UI is pretty fun. A lot of people don't like the little tiny tabs. I like in FL Studio, the tabs remind me of like a really small tiny drum machine. One of the other cool thing about FL Studio, if you are a producer that just don't want to keep paying for things and updates and stuff, FL Studio has free lifetime updates. That's why it's one of the GOATs. And last but least is Ableton. They didn't expect Ableton to come in. I was right there. I saw it. I saw Ableton come in and I knew what it was going to do. I knew when I saw all the EDM guys jump on board and get all those cool sounds, and a lot of cool sounds was coming with it. I was like, they are really going to change the game with this, because it was really quality sounds, and the way you can manipulate samples in Ableton, the way you can go to a separate window and focus in on just manipulating that sample. Also the way it's set up, you literally are you're looking down at the desk. When you go down to like your effects on your channel strip, you can go down to the effects at the bottom and work, and it's literally like I'm writing something down and I'm looking up. I love the way Ableton is positioned, and like I said, a lot of like the dubsteps and a lot of the EDM, the dubstep really blew and boomed due to Ableton. Everybody was using it, and Ableton works well with hardware, works well with others, and I like the way that they actually design hardware, like literally drum machines. To be honest, they were the first that I've seen that literally was a music production DAW, but you could do other things with it, but they created hardware that worked seamlessly with it, like drum patterns, like machines, like pads that physically works with and integrates within the software. So Ableton really thought about their audience, and they dived deep into, and they went into the psyche of, and they say, what do these guys need? Let's give them that, and that's it. No compromise. We're looking out for our people. So yes, those are my top 5 DAW. Hey, I understand there are many digital audio workstations out there. I know there are free ones. I know they can do the same thing. Majority of them can do the same thing, but these are my top 5 and my preference, and give you guys some insight. And hopefully you guys can feel my passion and sincerity about the DAWs, the digital audio workstation, through the camera here, because they are really fun DAWs to work with. And I think that they can benefit a lot of creators already that have their favorite DAW, and you want a secondary one, or you're starting out. Take a look at these, man, and also take a look at others. Don't be fixed on one thing, and don't listen to the industry. Do what works best for you. Figure it out. Work around with it. If you're comfortable with it, stick with it and learn the heck out of it. That's how this works. So I really do appreciate you guys, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to be great and create. This is your boy Archie Beats, and I'm signing off.